All right, so hello everybody. My name is Sean Vair with PowerSchool. I know a lot of you have probably joined different webinars with us in the past. I work with Cami pretty closely on the NCEES system, and today we are going to be looking at the Premium Library, but in particular, EdStar Analytics. So I've got Jackie Alvarez and Janet Johnson with us to be able to talk a little bit more about EdStar Analytics. Jackie, Janet, before I get started, do you want to do a quick introduction of yourselves?
Sure. I'm Janet Johnson, and I've been with EdStar Analytics for over 30 years, probably just about 30, working with North Carolina school districts, originally to evaluate grant-funded programs. And then probably over a decade ago, school systems started asking us to conduct professional development for them on how to use data-driven decisions, working with their school improvement teams. And that's how we started developing these courses. And then Jackie joined me quite a while ago, but she hasn't been here 30 years like I have. Jackie?
Not quite 30 years. Yeah, I'm the Director of Professional Development and Technical Resources with EdStar. So thank you, Sean.
All right, fantastic. So I'll do my part here and then I'll let you all take over since you are the stars of the show, I think, today. So quick agenda is I'm just going to show how to access the Premium Library and find and preview courses. You can kind of see what's in there. And then we'll pass it off to EdStar Analytics to be able to talk through some of the basics of their stuff and kind of showcase what they have for you. So I'm starting out here. So if you come into the homepage and you come to the System Administration tab, now anybody who is a district administrator will have access to this. And from System Administration down here at the bottom is the Premium Library choice. And once you come to the Premium Library, that's going to open up into the library where you can come in and you can search for whatever content you're looking for. Now, over here on the left, you can see that you can sort by vendor, and here's our EdStar Analytics right there. And then you can also narrow down by content area or target audience or any of those. You can also narrow down by content or by title. So if you have something specific you're looking for, you can come in and you can look specifically for that. Now I'm going to choose EdStar Analytics here. Let it narrow down. So here's some of the courses that we have for EdStar Analytics. And once I find the course, I can click on it and I can see more information in there. So I can see what info there is. I can add it to my cart if I want to. I can preview it. I can, look at whatever information is in there. Now, once it is in my cart, I'm gonna go ahead and add it in here. Once it's in my cart, I can come right up here to the upper right corner. And I can look at what is in my cart. Let's see, we've got two things in there right now. And here's that course. So now I can choose number of seats. I can choose how it's going to be paid. So if there's already a budget, so if you've already talked to our sales team and have figured that out, or if it's the request to set up a prepaid budget, we'll reach out and we'll contact you and kind of let you know. Cami has a one-pager that we'll definitely share with you all that has more information on who to contact around that. You could also do the staff credit card purchase, which gives you the ability to be able to have individuals in your district be able to pay for it as they're going on a seat-by-seat basis. Once I have everything filled in here, I would just click this submit request button down here at the bottom. And once I click that submit request button, it's going to go to our team. They're going to reach out to you to make sure everything's set up appropriately, and it will be released into your system. Once it's released, it does get released into your district's office for NCEES, and you have to go in and release it so you can choose who you're going to release it to. So you can pick the specific people that you're gonna add to this course itself. So that's it from the PowerSchool side. I will be watching the chat. So if you have any specific questions, you can put those in the chat. If it's questions for me with PowerSchool, I'll go ahead and answer those. If it's questions specific for EdStar Analytics, I'll help moderate that Q&A as we're talking out. All right, so I think, Jackie, I'm passing the screen off to you for the next part, right?
Yep, thank you, Sean.
Very welcome.
Okay. All right, I'll just introduce myself again. Hi, everyone. My name is Jackie Alvarez. I'm the Director of Professional Development and Technical Resources at EdStar Analytics. As Sean has explained, we've partnered with PowerSchool to bring the professional development we've done for years in person to an online platform.
And as I said in the introduction, we've been doing this for over 30 years, working with school systems. We've worked with every district in North Carolina, and we've been doing face-to-face professional development And we started putting it online even before COVID, but now that COVID has arrived, we've put more effort into our online professional development.
Our professional development is designed to build skills. You will gain competencies and leave with evidence that you have developed those competencies. Not only will you leave the course knowing how to do something, but you will leave with new resources such as lesson plans, surveys, and digital resources. Our courses also align with the North Carolina digital competencies.
And I wanted to add, if you could go back to that for a second, Jackie, that most of our courses have been developed when we've been requested by school systems to do a professional development for them. I think probably all of our courses originated that way, where a school system approached us and said, we need someone to teach our counselors how to use the Ask a National model. Can you do it? Or we've got a grant to develop a digital resource library and we don't know where to start. Can you work with our staff? And one of the things that we have come to realize gradually over time, we teach hard stuff. It's not like you don't just attend and then you have some new knowledge or a new attitude about something. There's a lot of skills involved. So people walk away and they would tell us originally, I understood what you were saying, but it's so much. So when you leave our courses, you still have access to the resources that we provide, because there's too much material and it's too new to actually walk away and now you've got all these things. So you leave with resources, you leave with drafts of things, and you still have access to the resources in the course.
Okay. This is one of our course descriptions. In each course description, we tell what standards and competencies are aligned to the course.
And this is an example from one of the more recent courses that we have created to show you the kinds of things. And like everything else, this was a request where there's a lot of push right now, both from the Department of Public Instruction and from the federal grants, to integrate social and emotional learning in things that you do in the classroom. And so we started researching what's the connection between social and emotional learning and academic performance. And there is a research basis that connects those two things. And so in this course, you learn about the research and what promotes what the research calls social loafing, which I think we all know what that is. That's where if you're working together in a group, you hang back and hope the other people do the work, versus what kind of social interactions promote performance boosting. And there's a research basis that is very concrete. And that's what this course is about. We also provide in this course surveys, very short surveys, observation instruments, so you learn to recognize, and also provide feedback to students to guide them toward the performance boosting types of social interactions. And we've seen that we use the CASTLE model because that's what the research uses. And that's what is on the Department of Public Instruction's website. So we review that. And this course doesn't teach you how to do social and emotional learning. The DPI has a lot of resources for that, but rather this course teaches you how to more effectively use those resources. And then, as Jackie said, all of our courses align to the North Carolina standards. And at the last activity in each course is to answer prompts that will create a document so that you'll have an artifact that shows how the skills that you learned in the course align with your standards. And we've got standards for each of the different roles: teachers, superintendents, administrators, school counselors, so that you walk away with a document for your particular standards.
So here is a partial list of the topics we cover. We specialize in anything data, technology, and STEM. We also have over a decade teaching about using the Ask a National model to school counselors. We also specialize in helping educators use data to align services to student needs. We created what we call the Tower of Hope to help educators visualize their data. We color code it to indicate the kind of help and the amount of help that the student needs. For example, working with school systems that were aligning career and college readiness resources, the students in the blue needed very different types of services than the students in the red. It's not that they didn't need any services, they just needed different services. We use this Tower of Hope to help them visualize what pre versus post data should look like. Then we help write goals for each color band in the Tower of Hope. In our courses, we have included suggested data for what is relevant for different types of goals. In the data course, after selecting a topic, you download a form of suggested data and ranges for each color band.
Yeah, and this is an example of the kind of resource that we include in the data courses and that you still have access to based on decades of working with school systems to help their school improvement teams write goals, and also working with grant funded projects where there is so much to know about the data as far as like, what are the benchmarks for ACT English? What should we have as our goal for career and college ready in as far as the math ACT score goes? You know, there's, or the EOC, the EVOS predictions, you know, there's so much data and the details, you know, rather than learn the details, you walk away with cheat sheets, access to resources, etc.
You review research nuggets that advise practice and select the most relevant for your data-driven plan. You download your selections, which will also include the citations. Then you are stepped. Oh, do you want to go ahead? Sorry,
Sure.
Janet.
Yeah. You want to go to the next slide, Jackie?
Sure. Then you're stepped through with prompts to make a data-driven plan. You make a separate one for each color in the Tower of Hope.
Yeah, and we created this because we have found, as we've worked with school counselors and school improvement teams and educators, that not only do you have to know, in order to write a SMART objective, you need to know what data would be relevant, what are the benchmarks for that data, how do I write a SMART goal, etc. And so we just set up prompts where if your goal is going to be reduce the dropout rate and you choose that, we've got conditional logic in there where then it has goals already written that would be relevant in terms of the relevant data, so that you've got all those there as an example. And then we've got the research basis, and you just respond to the prompt, so you leave with an example of what a good school improvement plan would look like. And then I also wanted to highlight, we've got a new course that we recently made in collaboration with a North Carolina law firm, because we're seeing there's the need for information about data security and keeping confidentiality of student data, now that especially during COVID, everyone is using Zoom or some other way doing things online. And there are local laws, state laws and federal laws about third-party vendor data. And so we made this course specifically for educators to inform you what you need to know about data security to protect yourself, and so that you know what the laws are.
Some of our courses build skills and software that educators are already using. We designed these based on the needs that we see when working with educators. In many cases, people just don't know what they don't know. These courses show them how to work more efficiently.
Yeah, and as we've mentioned before, that most everything that we have included in the courses are based on actually working with educators. And we work with technology and education data day in and day out. So we really know the education data, and we know how to use all sorts of features of these particular software packages. And we've been, I can't tell you how many times in a school system where we've seen somebody took 40 hours to do something that Excel would do in 2 minutes. And so this course is based on those things. I think we call it tools for the task, and just teach you basically what you might not know that you don't know.
In our course for school counselors, you will walk away not only with a better understanding of the Ask a National model, but you will also walk away with drafts of the required documents.
Yeah, and this is we already have mentioned about the other courses. There's so much to know in the Ask a National model as far as all of the things that you need to create, that when we used to do workshops originally, when the Ask a National model first came out, it'd be like we're teaching you're getting a graduate degree, all the things that you have to learn. And so we have morphed away from that to where we prompt you through, and you leave with drafts of the documents that you need for the national model.
All of our courses are self-paced and they're available through PowerSchool. I'm also going to attach a list of our courses in the Zoom chat, and I'll also put my email if you have questions after today. And just to reiterate, these courses can be accessed through PowerSchool, and they also handle the credits as well.
And we've got 13 courses that have already been created. And we are in the process of creating another one based on a request, as all our courses are. And the one that we're working on right now is, how do you tell your story with data? Once you're using a data-driven model and you've got data, how do you communicate to others what you're finding and what's effective? And it takes a long time to make one of these courses, but we'll just slowly add more.
Oh, sorry, you guys.
So if anyone has questions, we would be happy to take them now.
I didn't see any in the chat. So there is the Premium Library one-pager is in the chat. And I think, Jackie, you...
I was locating the chat. I couldn't find it because I'm sharing my screen. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's hiding.
I see it now. Thank you.
But also, you know what I'll do is I can go ahead and open up. So if anybody wants to, you can put your question in the chat, or if you'd like to unmute yourself, if you want to have, ask a question directly to either, it could be a question to Cami at NCDPI, it could be a question for me at PowerSchool, or for Jackie and Janet for EdStar Analytics.
Hey, Sean, this is Robert. Are you able to hear me?
I can. How you doing, Robert?
Oh, great. So those of you that are on the call, you may know that Cami and I work together. I'm the Director of Educator Standards and Evaluation, and Cami and I work together on evaluation and the PD. I just want to reiterate for this group how helpful and how important the Premium Library is overall, because it gives us, the users of this PowerSchool tool, the opportunity to get to other things. They are at a premium. We know they cost money, but it gets them in this one place where we can see them and help make more aligned decisions. But what's especially powerful about the EdStar content, and Janet and Jackie alluded to this, every course that you have in here that's in this growing catalog specifically from EdStar was written and developed in response to a need from a North Carolina district. I don't know how content in the Premium Library could be more contextually relevant in our state than the reality that everything you see here, from the content that they've developed to each of the topic areas for each of the courses, and I'm excited that the catalog and what they're able to add will continue to grow. I also appreciate Janet's comment that it takes time to build these courses. What that says is we know that the design of these courses is intentional, and it's really rooted in the context and the need of North Carolina districts. There are lots of people that can make PD to sell broadly across the United States. This stuff is like a balloon tightly anchored in North Carolina. It's related to our standards. It's associated and connected to North Carolina board policy, as well as our general statutes. You can't get any more relevant than these things that were developed in our state in response to specific needs from districts in North Carolina. So I just appreciate the opportunity to, Sean, view continue to facilitate so that we can help folks at least be aware that this specific North Carolina content is here inside of the Premium Library. So thank you. And Janet and Jackie, thank you for making time today to share with everybody.
Thank you for having us.
All right. So from a PowerSchool perspective, that one pager that Cami put into the chat, we'll make sure it gets sent out as well. But there is some contact info down there so that if you have any questions from a sales perspective about what you need in order to buy these things, stuff like that, there is the contact down there for you to be able to do that. All right. Well, it looks like, unless there's any further questions, Jackie, Janet, Cami, any last thoughts, or Robert?
No, thank you guys for joining us today. And like everybody said, if you need some help with how to see these courses in NCEES, I am your go-to gal. So just email me. My link is on that one pager. So we're excited for you guys to check out the EdStar Analytics courses. Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, thank you all. We'll stick around in case any other questions pop up, but I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.